In the southern Zaporizhzhia area, Ukraine claims to have penetrated Russia's first line of defenses as its counteroffensive against Moscow soldiers continues to make modest headway. The most recent changes are as follows. Ukraine claims to have penetrated Russia's first line of defenses in the Zaporizhzhia area as it continues its counteroffensive near Bakhmut. At least 16 people were murdered in a midday attack on a street market in the eastern city of Kostiantynivka as a result of Russian drone and missile strikes against Ukraine. Additionally, it has continued to launch drone attacks on Ukraine's Danube River ports, harming the nation's grain export infrastructure. As the counteroffensive that was initiated earlier this summer appears to be picking up steam, Ukrainian generals assert that they have penetrated Russia's powerful first line of defenses in the south. Brig General Alexander Tarnavsky, one of Ukraine's senior generals in the south, told the British publication The Observer that his soldiers were between the first and second defensive lines, and a defense minister's advisor said, "Little by little, I think we're gaining momentum." The little village of Robotyne, located 56 kilometers, 35 miles, southeast of the city of Zaporizhzhia, has been the focal point of Ukraine's counteroffensive attempt in recent weeks. There have also been reports of gains to the south and west of the village, which is near Verbov. Since hoisting the Ukrainian flag above Robotyne last month, Ukrainian forces have been working to open up the area so that larger infantry and armored units may pass through without drawing Russian fire. The second and third defensive lines, according to analysts, could not be quite as strong as the first. According to Trent Mull of the U.S. Defense Intelligence Agency, Ukrainian forces in southern Ukraine have a realistic possibility of defeating the whole Russian defense by the end of the year. Additionally, Ukrainian forces have kept up their operations near Bakhmut, which has seen some of the war's fiercest combat and has been under Russian control for a number of months. Analysts at the U.S.-based Institute for the Study of War, ISW, say geolocated footage suggests Ukraine has made marginal gains northwest of the village of Klishchivka to the south of the city and east of Orikovo-Vasilivka to the north. Meanwhile, Russia has continued its missile and drone attacks on Ukraine, with an attack on September 6 killing at least 16 people including a child. Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky condemned the deliberate attack on Ukraine's peaceful city of Kostiantynivka, which is about 17 miles, 27 kilometers, from Bakhmut. It was one of the worst attacks on Ukrainian civilians since the spring, and took place in a busy street at about 1400 hours local time, 12 o'clock British summer time, as people flocked to market stalls and cafe terraces. Russian authorities have not responded to the incident. They have already refuted claims that their onslaught includes targeting civilians. Additionally, Russia has stepped up its nighttime drone strikes on Ukrainian Danube River ports, which pose a threat to grain exports, one of Kyiv's most important economic lifelines. After withdrawing from the internationally mediated Black Sea Grain Initiative in the middle of July, Moscow started to concentrate its drone attacks on the Danube ports, claiming that the initiative was harming Russia's own agricultural exports. The program was created to provide safe passage for ships transporting grain to international markets. Only a few ships, none of them carrying grain, have been permitted to depart from Ukrainian Black Sea ports like Odessa since Russia withdrew. According to the UK's Agriculture and Horticulture Development Board, AHDB, the ports of Izmail and Reni on the Danube currently handle 65% of Ukraine's grain exports. The grain is subsequently brought into the Black Sea by rivers and canals, passing through the Romanian seaports of Salina and Constanta. It is safer in theory because ships entering the Black Sea at the river's mouth immediately enter Romanian territorial seas. Since part of Ukraine's border with NATO is formed by the river Danube, strikes by Russia also have a geopolitical component. Although Bucharest originally denied it, at least one Russian drone has been seen exploding within Romania, across the river from Izmail. Eventually, Romania acknowledged that some pieces of a Russian drone had been discovered on its side of the Danube. The government in Bucharest, which has vehemently denounced Russia's attacks on Ukraine's Danube facilities, does not want the issue to spiral out of control, according to the International Affairs correspondent Paul Adams. On February 24, 2022, before dawn, Russia launched dozens of missile strikes on Ukrainian cities. Russian ground forces surged into Ukraine over a short period of time, taking control of major portions of the country and reaching the suburbs of Kyiv. Russian forces were pounding Kharkiv, and they had seized control of land as far away as Kherson in the east and south.